Well, Jim, let's get some questions here on the show. This first one was sent on Twitter using the hashtag CornyDriveThru from Mark in Dryden. What does Jim think about Stephanie McMahon's comments about who will replace Vince? And I have an article here from...
I was about to say, what are Stephanie's comments about who will replace Vince?
This is an article from comicbook.com by Connor Casey. I'll read this. The question of what will happen once Vince McMahon steps down as WWE chairman and CEO has been on the minds of WWE fans for years. No kidding, especially lately.
Now be nice. Would you stop?
Many assume that the couple of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon will both step in to fill the role given their heavy involvement on WWE corporate side for over a decade. Stephanie McMahon was asked about that topic while on the Bloomberg Business of Sports podcast over the weekend and put a damper on that fan theory. I don't think there will ever be a person-to-person replacement for Vince McMahon. He does too much. The landscape would look different however it shakes out, McMahon said. I do think a lot of the institutional knowledge is important, particularly with regards towards the core content. But it's also surrounding our business with strong, smart executives. And that's exactly what we have. So I do think it's the marriage of institutional knowledge, the incredible production value, the creation of talent IP and storylines, and really strong business executives to help us expand. I think it's a combination of things. It's really remarkable when you think about our history and what Vince accomplished. Think about what he's done. He took what was a regional business and had the vision to go around and create one organization, nationally and ultimately globally. My father saw the opportunity for syndication. He saw the opportunity for advertising. Ultimately, he saw the opportunity to really create something that had never risen to the level of popularity it had never been. That's a weird sentence.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Well, who knows who's transcribing these things?
Yeah, that's right. Comicbook.com.
Have you noticed everybody in a large corporation or publicly traded company masters the art of speaking forever without ever actually saying a goddamn thing? I will agree you can't replace Vince with one person because there's never going to be another Vince McMahon. But right now, even the Vince McMahon that exists, obviously, is at best spread too thin. I don't know what the fuck's going on up there. I've mentioned it a few times on this program. The things that I see, I can see the Vince McMahon that I knew being aghast over it airing on his television program. So Vince was an integral part of everything, even the tiny, minute stuff that would be done in the company that Vince wouldn't know about. He would have had somewhat of a system in place, or you would know, even if it wasn't something you needed to consult with Vince on, most of the time people knew not to do shit that Vince wouldn't like. So he was in everything, for good, bad, and indifferent, but for all those years, a lot of it was good, because he did get bigger and expand and increase and blah, blah, blah. But this downhill side has been going on for a while. And I don't know. Everybody says, well, it's all Vince. It's all Vince. At some point, goddamn, is even the one guy in charge of the company to blame for everything here? Or did they just take and run with the fact that everything's the shits? And so I don't see how one person could replace Vince. I don't think Triple H wouldn't want to replace Vince otherwise than running the wrestling part of the company. I'm sure there's a lot of the things that Vince has done over the years that Triple H would be more than happy to stay away from. And also because you've got to remember that any other one person would be a normal human being. And we've joked about how for so many years Vince never fucking slept. Nobody else is going to do that. I'm sure now maybe that's what the problem is. At some point, Vince has had to start sleeping. Maybe that's when things started going downhill. I don't fucking know. But it also with Peacock and NBC and all this other stuff, no one person can run the company anymore. So Stephanie will probably have some department. Triple H will probably be over the wrestling department. They've hired executives to do, most of the business, and then they'll probably all be trying to sell it for $5 billion, as we've talked about, as soon as Vince is gone. So that,
See, I disagree with you there. I think Vince is going to be the one to sell it.
Well, I'm saying if Vince is gone, if he's gone and they still own it, I thought that was the presumption that we're bearing up under. Who would replace Vince?
I think Vince,
because if Vince sells it, somebody's replacing Vince, whether they want it or not.
If Vince sold it today, let's say, I think you'd have Nick Khan running the business end. You'd have Triple H running the wrestling end. The question is, do you have an overall CEO that they both report into, or does someone like Nick Khan get elevated to that position? I think Nick Khan's there to sell the company. I absolutely believe that.
I can see that. And the thing is, you can't even say, it'll be the end of wrestling as we know it, because that horse already left the barn and the barn burned down as a result of the Fiend's pyromania. So what difference does it make? We've already lost the fucking fight. It's gone. So the question is it going to be shittier once Vince is gone under Nick Khan or corporate ownership to be determined, or is it just going to continue to be kind of as shitty?
That's what you don't know. Like, Disney bought Marvel, and they left a lot of the Marvel people alone. They tried to stay true to the Marvel vision with the movies, and it's been a major success. With George Lucas selling Lucasfilm to Disney, Disney made a lot of Star Wars fans happy, although some not so much, by going in and developing more Star Wars material. George Lucas isn't so happy because they're not doing things that were his vision. But Star Wars fans are a bit happier because they're getting Baby Yoda, and they're getting, the Mandalorian, and they're getting all these different things. So that's the thing. If NBC Universal buys WWE, and if it's NBC, they're buying it strictly because it's a content producer, what's going to happen? I mean, we all assume Triple H. We assume that Vince will sell it with the idea that you got to take care of my kids, and I'm counting Triple H as one of them. What if it's not Triple H? What if some executive comes and he's the new CEO, and he needs a wrestling person who has the institutional knowledge? Stephanie's right about that. You do need that. But what if that person starts talking to Johnny Ace and thinks this is the guy? You know what I mean? Like, what if he starts talking to the wrong person and thinking this is someone who really knows what they're talking about?
Well, then in that case, they'd be talking to Tony Khan. Because if they want somebody that they can go to that will really fucking wind them up for a good wrestling company, they need to go directly to Tony Khan and quit worrying about Vince McMahon or Triple H or Stephanie or all that stuff. He'll give them something. I just have no optimism whatsoever. I'm looking at, the WWE has run most of these fans off because there was no other option, and it's so fake. And the people who like fake wrestling but just don't like the evil empire, we know how many of them there are. There's 750,000, and they're watching the other show on Wednesday nights, which is abysmal. And there's almost no way now to do wrestling properly because everybody considers it a fucking joke. It would be like trying to do Hogan's Heroes as a drama. So I don't really think it matters who's running the thing by the time Vince is gone. Even if it's only a few years from now, by then, will anybody be watching?
What do you think of Stephanie calling her father Vince as opposed to my dad?
Oh, she does that all the time. Well, I mean, it's not like she doesn't also sometimes refer to him as my dad, but everybody says Vince, even family members.